Hey guys, so we got a great class today. I just want to mention a couple things before I introduce Matt and let him get going into his presentation. I've got him queued up. I'll share his screen. Let me actually share something with you really quick. Well, I say really quick, but I don't always do this really quick. Okay, tomorrow, this is tomorrow. All you guys that are here, all you guys on Zoom, one of our panelists is sitting right here. Ashley, we are doing a Moms in Real Estate discussion panel at the Slick campus right over here off 97 South, 3rd West-ish, the Miller campus. So we have the auditorium reserved. We've got 100 and some people signed up already. This is tomorrow. You guys are welcome to come. Chase, will you swipe the link? Or actually, let me just copy this. I'll put this in the chat.
I should have been a mom.
Yeah,
this is that many women.
I am telling you, this is a great group of women right here. We actually had them all to lunch just to kind of get to know them. Sorry, I can't do two things at once. Time out while I copy and paste. Okay, guys, there's the link in the chat for you. We did a couples discussion panel. Lynn and I have been in real estate and investing in a team for 30 years, and I'd like to do a panel discussion with other couples in real estate. It was really, really popular, but then that led to this discussion. It's like, oh, you know who is really passionate about being in real estate and bonding and inspiring and can learn from each other is moms. Moms that pull off kids and real estate pretty awesome. So we interviewed over 20 ladies for this panel. We wanted to pick a very diverse group from age to experience, kid count. Some are single moms, some are married, some were stay-at-home moms for 20 years and then got into real estate, different stages in life. It's going to be super, super awesome. And it applies to dads too, or non-parents. But I wanted to invite you guys, let you know that we're trying to create a better agent experience here, guys. That's why we do these trainings. We invite people like Matt. He's so gracious to give us his time to be here. I've attended some of his trainings outside of our office. That's why we wanted to meet here. But these type of things are for socializing and networking, and let's admit that you guys that have been in real estate for a little while, sometimes the hardest part of the transaction is the agent on the other side of the transaction.
No, that never happens. You guys are so
maybe it's just me and they say the same thing about me, maybe, I don't know. But you know what, we need to raise the bar a little bit in our industry, I think, and I think in networking and providing value like this, to where, I mean, you got an instant bond. We were at lunch, right? I'm looking at Ashley here, you guys on Zoom, because she's one of the panelists. Let me just show you some of these amazing ladies. But when we were at lunch, there's our sponsor. Instant bonding, relationships. This lunch wasn't even over, and we did it here in my office, is why I'm pointing right here. And they were inviting each other to lunch to learn more about each other. And hear more about their stories. And I think you guys will find that true of this panel if you can make it to that tomorrow. So grab that link out of the chat, register for that, and would love to see you there. There's my beautiful wife and daughter who are going to be our moderators.
Hey, the next time you have one with a bunch of women, I'm totally down to be the moderator. Okay? Totally down. Love
it is kind of fun.
Yeah, I love
I like
moderating.
being the one dude.
Yeah, I can be me and you.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, cool. So new share coming up. Let me introduce Matt first. So I'm going to say a couple things about Matt because he doesn't usually talk about himself. He offers a lot of value. I've been to some of his trainings. He offers great value and he says, okay, I'm out. You watch. He's going to set a timer.
12:05, I'm out.
So you're going to give me an hour from when I start?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'll go to 12:10.
He does. Last time he was here, he set up a timer right there. Peace out. See you guys. And he's on to the next thing. Very structured, very organized. If you want a phone call with him, don't count on more than 15 minutes.
But if it's you and your wife, you get 30.
Yeah,
that worked out well.
But the trick is get on the phone call. That's supposed to be 15 minutes and then offer some value and maybe it'll go longer.
Yeah.
So the reason I wanted to kind of like, Matt's kind of like me. It's like, I try not to talk about myself too much. I try to just attract people into my world that are like me. That's what we all want, right? We want to associate more with people that are like us, both in our sphere, in our business, as our clients. It's more fun to work with somebody that you have a connection with in a relationship. It's the same thing with agents, right? So we've got a team here. And like I said, we're trying to build a better agent experience by offering these classes. We do these every week. So the reason I mentioned that is because Matt does coaching, okay? He's got a coaching business, MJA Consulting. Is it consulting or coaching?
Yeah.
Consulting. He's at one point owned over 100 rental properties himself. Okay, he will mention some of his background and then he'll move on to it kind of quickly. But what I wanted to mention is when you're looking for a lender, intercap lending, I don't even know if you mentioned intercap lending with the last training I was with.
Probably not.
Probably not, right? But think about it. When you go to an expert that does what you're wanting to do, you're going to get a little bit different experience, a little bit different feedback. You're going to get maybe a different strategy session on, hey, I've done this way, maybe you could consider this. The more experience we have with in real estate, we do that for our clients, right? Hey, I've seen this before. So you might want to make that connection, okay? An investor, a lender, a coach, there's a lot of value there that intertwines. It's not one or the other, this and that. So consider that when you're thinking of your investor clients, your clients that are looking at rental properties. There's a lot of lenders that can do loans for investment properties.
Lots of people can do loans.
Lots of people can do loans. As with realtors, there's a lot of different personalities, experience, and value that lenders offer as well too. So anyway, I just want to give that plug. High respect for Matt and what he's going to bring today. So I'm going to let him finish up his introduction. And I love seeing you all on Zoom. Matt's going to ask you to turn on your cameras anyway, because he's going to pick on some of you.
Yep.
So while he comes over and we switch positions, I'm going to share his slide deck and then we'll get rolling.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, everyone. Okay, I like having, what's up, Keiko? You really want to see me that you drove here. So good to see you.
Always here.
Always here. Okay, so what's your name and how long you been a realtor? Go ahead.
Dakota.
A year and a half. Okay.
He'll move around.
Chase, year and a half. How long? Sorry, how long?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. Terry,
Terry, 4 years.
4 years.
Ashley, 6, 7.
Cam, you writing all these down? So this is how you guys know who to network after. So big tip, okay? I'm doing this so you guys can know who to do deals with. So 18 months, 4 years. Ashley, how long?
6.5 years.
6.5 years. What's your name?
Jordan, 2 years.
2 years.
Sione, I'm not a realtor.
Sione.
I'm getting my license.
Cool, good. What do you do for a living?
I work for the city of Provo. I'm a
Awesome.
planner here.
Awesome, good. Okay,
Matt, and 2 months.
2 months,
Michael, year and a half.
year and a half.
Dave, I 35 years licensed, not always a realtor.
You know her, that's Becca's.
That's Dave Poker.
Yeah, okay, cool, good. His niece works on our team. Go ahead.
Brittany, 6 months.
6 months,
Eric, 18 years.
18 years,
Happily, 1 month.
1 month.
Isaac, I'm gonna get my license.
Are you still in high school, Isaac?
I just turned it.
Awesome, that's good, dude, that's awesome. I love your hair, dude. I've grown mine out, my wife's like making fun, so it's good. Okay, go ahead.
Preston, about a month.
Preston, a month,
7 years.
7 years. You've only been a realtor 7 years?
Yeah, started investing 30 years.
Yeah, I know. I was like, okay, and
Hey, come on. I should probably get my eyes.
you have your driver's license. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I wanna see Ashley, what's up, Jessica, Jim, Casey, Ashley Shipley, Mary, Kaylee, Shauna, Scott, Jamie, Melanie, Alex, Kelly, Karma. Please type in the Zoom chat bar how long you've been a realtor for, because I'm gonna modify what I'm sharing based on what your guys' experience is. So we got one person who's been 18 years, if I remember correctly. We got Dave, he could teach this. I was gonna say experienced. And most of you guys are newer, less than 5 years. Okay, raise your hand if you guys own at least one rental property. Okay, keep your hand high real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if you guys can type in the Zoom chat bar, if you own a rental property, type in I own how many rentals, because we got to modify it based on who we're talking to. Does that make sense?
Did Melanie say she's been an agent for 2 hours?
2 hours, 6.5, 2 hours. I own one rental, I own one, I own 8, I own 1, 25 years, 4.5. Okay, cool. All right, most of you guys don't own any rentals or 2 or less. Okay, cool. This is very helpful. Cam, can you pass out? I'm going to modify. This is click. Where did I click this one out? Should work. Cool. What do you want passed out? Long-term goals. Okay, so what I'd like to do I want you to write down how much money you made last year, because we got to reverse engineer it. Most of you guys have been realtors not that long, so I'm going to talk to you with respect to the agents who've been a realtor for a little while, okay? So here's my background. I love sports. I have season tickets to the Jazz, Real Salt Lake. I love the Denver Broncos. I love the Chicago Cubs. I went to the World Series when the Cubs went. I've gone to the NBA Finals. I saw LeBron James beat the Warriors in 2016. I do a lot of different stuff. All of these things are paid by my real estate investments. Okay, so I started in 2000. Let's see, you have to click each one.
Shouldn't, I don't know why it's not active.
With the start date, we just put our real estate license date.
No, put today's date. So everyone put today's date, please. So if I just need to click each one, that's fine.
Yeah, it might, maybe this is dead. I probably didn't charge it.
Okay, cool. So here's my background of like, okay, why are we gonna listen to you for 55 minutes today? So I'm from Midvale. Don't hold it against me. Okay, anyone from Midvale? Nope. All right. Anyone half Mexican? I throw out a lot of half Mexican jokes. All right. Terry Coyle. Okay. So my mom's Mexican. How do I go back here? Mom's little mamacita. She passed away last year on my birthday in 2020. Very impactful experience. My dad's a super white guy, like your shirt, super white shirt guy. Okay. My dad gets really burned. He's had skin cancer like 7 times. So there's a lot of diversity. Okay. So I have a super conservative white dad and a super liberal, saucy Latin mom, okay? And I'm more saucy Latin than like my dad, okay? So growing up, I was always the rule pusher, not a rule follower. And as I went to, has anyone ever gone to Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within? We got one.
I did online.
Online, okay, anyone? Type in if you've done a UPW. Okay, action item number 1, ready? In March, they have a virtual event. It is like $600. It's 4 days. It will change your life. Okay. I just took my wife, my 11-year-old son. He firewalked. If my 11-year-old son can firewalk, so can you guys. And I've gone to 21 Tony events in the last 3.5 years, and it's really excelled where I'm as a real estate investor, but more importantly as a friend. Go ahead.
Did that not like burn your feet to where
Nope.
you couldn't walk?
No, it didn't burn my feet. I've done it 4 times. Okay, good. It's kind of like the how, right? Like, hi, how do I get the money for the down payment? Or how do I manage the property? You got to focus on what the what is.
Okay.
So why I'm sharing this with you guys, we're going to go through this experience. We're going to go through this exercise up front. Okay. So we're going to reverse engineer how to build a real estate portfolio to replace your day job as real estate professionals. But we got to reverse engineer to even find out how much you need in assets. So on the top right-hand corner, you're going to write your name down. Does everyone have a sheet of paper of this?
You didn't have enough.
We have enough? All right. Could you mind making just a couple of copies? Is that okay?
These are different?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So if you have one, give it to Lynn real quick. And if she could make 10 copies, that would be awesome. For those of you guys that are online, you guys can go to MJA Real Consulting real quick. And you can go to the long-term goal forms and you can print this out. So we will, yeah, even if they wrote their name. That's okay. If it has their name, that's okay. Just cross it out. Okay. So you're gonna write your name down. Now you're gonna write today's date. We're establishing what's called a map. You gotta have a map. You know where you are now and where you want to go. Okay. So financial freedom is not, it's like a journey. So the cool thing is with my background and to help you guys is we got to reverse engineer how much you need in assets and how you can add real estate to that. Okay. So I taught this class 2 weeks ago to 83 realtors virtually in Tennessee. And they were like overwhelmed, just like your guys' eyeballs are right now. And I spent 40 minutes going over this, but I'm gonna do this in 10 because you guys are smart and live in Utah. Okay, so versus Tennessee. So what we're gonna have you guys do is you're gonna write down, I would like to be financially free by what age? So you're gonna write in the future, and if you don't have a sheet of paper, you can write it, you can look at this and you can write it out yourself, but you'll get one. In the future, how long would you like to be financially free? Now, if you put 5 years, that's pretty unrealistic from where you are right now, based on how many of properties you have. Now, you might be a trust fund baby, which is awesome. I wasn't, but this is what's called the cycle of a real estate investor. The first 10 years is considered a starter. If you guys want to write this down, a starter is all over the place. They want to do buy and holds. They want to do fix and flips. They want to do syndications. They want to do assignments. They want to do apartment investing. They want to do storage facilities. They want to be a realtor. They want to be a lender. They want to be an escrow officer. They want to buy mobile home parks. They want to buy raw land. Okay. It's just, they're just itching to get track record. After your first 10 years, you're considered what's a builder. A builder is a 20 years longer. There's 2 revenue streams. So the merchants already have this based on how many rentals they have. One is rentals, residential or commercial. I don't care which one it is for this, either residential or commercial, or it's lending money.
What was the first one called?
Starter. Okay, starter is years 0 through 10. A builder is years 11 through 30. So I've personally been investing 17 years. I bought my first rental property in 2004. I bought 2 in 2005, and then 2006 I bought 13. I was like super addictive. Okay, it's like, I love real estate. I was engaged, so I didn't. There we go. So I love real estate. Okay, I was engaged. Just take that for whatever it is. Okay, so the point I'm sharing this in 2006, I didn't know this strategy. I was just super aggressive, and I'm very goal oriented. When I want to do something, I figure it out. Okay, so you want to put your age. Now the next part that's in blue or in the middle for all of you guys that are virtually, how much in total assets do you want for financial freedom? Okay, so most people don't know how much to fill out. So if you know how much you want, that's good. You can write down a number. If you don't know, I'm going to take last year's income times it by 25. So if you guys have your phones, I'm okay that you use your phones right now with your calculator. Take last year, if you're a realtor, take your adjusted gross income. Your adjusted gross income is your income after all of your expenses. If you have a job, which is totally cool, I have a job, I have a career as a mortgage planner, then you take what your salary, hourly, or whatever is, you take that and times it by 25. So I'd like everyone to do that calculation, and you're gonna put that to the right in the blue of what that number is. Okay, so you're gonna write that blue and what that number is. Now, the next part, why this is important. I've known Kate Koalu, I think 5 years plus or minus years. That's not right. That doesn't count the premortal existence. So that was a good joke. Okay, guys. Okay, good. That's for him. So the point I'm sharing that with you is if Keikoa probably knew this in his mid-20s, he probably would have different assets now in his late 40s. You agree, Keikoa?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So the next part, what do you want your ROI to be? What does ROI mean? Return on investment. Good. Okay, so we have in the future how old we're going to be, in the future how much we need in assets, in the future what do we want our ROI to be. So I want you guys to write down a number of what you think your ROI should be. Okay. Virtually, I got 19 people still on here. Thank you.
Are we being conservative on this, or
It's your life. You do what you want.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
And when I'm saying it's your life, do what you want, we're establishing a plan right now, and then it's up to you to figure out how to make it happen in the future. Would I put 25%? No, probably not. Unless you're doing all crypto and who knows what it's like in the future and really know. So just do whatever number you think and then reverse engineer for this exercise. I don't want to discredit what's a big goal to you for versus other people. Okay, cool. So we got 3 things we've done thus far. We have at what age we want, how much we want in assets, and we want our ROI. Now, for those of you guys who have a sheet of paper, you'll still get it. You can see up here, there's a red box. In the red box, you're going to put your current age. So we're now establishing where you are now to where you want to go. And if you guys have kids that are adults, this would be a great exercise to teach them tonight of where you are now to where you want to go. So then they can start thinking about planning. The blue part, I want you to write, what do you normally earn? What's your normal ROI? And if you don't know, put I don't know or put 0 because you can't measure what you don't track. I can teach you how to buy a ton of rentals. I can teach you how to do a bunch of flips. But if you don't know how to plan now and in the future, it's going to kind of be irrelevant because you're just going to be in this hamster wheel, just like doing real estate deals. Yes.
Is the current ROI just for real estate or?
All total assets.
Okay.
Great question. Is the ROI, it's all of your total assets. So Melanie says, I don't know, 12%. Whatever, Melanie, you want to write down is up to you. Okay. Now you're going to put on here in the green. What does the green say? What are you guys' name? Cade? No? Jordy? No? What is your name?
Jordan.
Jordan, close. What does that green say? Little box, please.
What annual rate of return are you currently earning?
Okay, good. So we got, and then what do you got? What's your current assets? Now your current assets would include your own house. Raise your hand if you own a primary residency. Raise your hand high. Most of you. Okay, cool. So if you don't own a primary residency, here's my first gold nugget. So if you see my little face in the caricature, you guys see my face? So under number 1, action items, save 6 months of living expenses before you buy any investment properties. You guys want to write that down? Have 6 months of living expenses saved before you buy any rental properties. Now, if you have 15 grand and you want to buy your owner occupied house, am I okay with that? Yeah, absolutely. But before you go buy some rental properties, have 6 months of living expenses saved. Now, if you're not sure how much 6 months of living expenses saved, action item number 2 was have a spending plan that you review monthly. Have a spending plan that you review monthly, or also known as a budget. Spending plan just sounds a lot more empowering. So there's no way I would have as much, and I have 87 rental properties now. I've sold a bunch the last 3 or 4 years. I've been trimming the fat, selling the dogs, being more selective with our market, and enjoying my life. Sounds good, right? Kind of like financial freedom. Sounds, and I'm 43. Okay, so we have a map. So we have where we are now and where we want to go in the future. You guys agree with that? Now, on the bottom, there's my little face with a little equal sign. You guys see my face with the equal sign? It's about 2/3 of the way down on the right-hand side. Here's what you do. You grab your phones again real quick. Remember, you guys aren't in Tennessee. I don't need to take 40 minutes to do this. I'm gonna do this in 10. You're gonna take your income goal. Sorry, you're gonna take your total assets in the future. So that's the blue part, times the ROI you want to earn, which is the green part, and then that will give you an annual income. So hypothetically, if I used to be a director for a company on the West Coast and I made $250,000 a year, I would take $250,000 a year times 25. That's probably 5.25 million plus or minus 250,000. Then I'd say, okay, if I want to make 8% on my money, I times it by 8%, that would give me an annual goal. But I'm just giving you hypothetical if that was what someone used to make a year. Okay. So what I want you to do is write down what that monthly or that annual income is. So let's go annual income. Would you write down, please?
I haven't written anything down yet.
Okay, let's do it together. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Cool. So did you write down what you want in assets?
1.25,
Okay, good. 1.25. What's the ROI you want to earn?
15,
Cool. So take 1.25 million times 15%.
just 15 or 0.15.
You can do 15% or 0.15, whatever is easier for you. You guys all get that?
Yep.
So what's the number you came up with, please?
187,000.
Good. So write that down. That's your annual goal. Does that make sense? Now, how young are you? You look less than 25.
24.
Okay, that's a good guess. Okay, 25. So in my opinion, I think it would be easier to double or triple the assets and then have a lower ROI. Because as you get older, here's the next part. It's called an ender. If you guys want to write this down. Enders are called I also call them silverbacks. Okay. They've already been investing for 30 years. It doesn't necessarily mean it's real estate, but they've already invested in 30 years. They have 2 major concerns. Number 1 is they don't want to lose their principal. People in their 60s don't want to go, they're not going like wildcatting with oil and gas normally if they have a ton of assets. They don't want to lose their principal. Number 2 is they want to be tax efficient. They don't want to pay more taxes than they've had to because they've already paid taxes for 30 years plus of their life. Would you guys agree with that?
Yep.
Okay, so the cool thing is we're reverse engineering in the future. So Terry Coyle, what's the annual income that you wrote that you would like when you're financially free?
400,000.
Great, 400,000. Dave, what did you write down?
240.
240,000. The guy that's not a Marine but looks like a Marine. 150,000. Okay, cool. So let's reverse engineer it. So I can either guess that you made 1.5 million is your long-term goal, and you wanted to make 10%.
Wow, you're really good.
Is that correct? I've done this once or twice. Can you tell? Okay, cool. So for you, so if you made 1.5 million divided by 25, let's reverse engineer this. This is how you meet with your real estate clients to help them get more property. So everyone grab your calculator real quick. Virtually, you guys too. I lost one person. Oh, I lost one. Ashley, Alex. Man, we got like 3 Ashleys. What's up with this? I love it. We got Casey. Type in the Zoom chat bar. Kaylee, Kelly, Marchard Group. That's us. Melanie, Scott Brady, Shauna Sides, Sterling. I want you guys to type in what's your annual income. But let's go back to you, military man. Yeah, like that. Okay, so you put 150,000. Now you divide that by 25, right? You guys see how you reverse engineer this? So this is basic math. Would you guys agree this is 5th grade math? My son, he's in 5th grade. He could do this. Okay. So what did you guys come up with? What hypothetically did he make last year?
Oh, no, a lot more, 6,000.
Oh, a lot more than 6,000. Okay. So what did you make last year that you wrote down?
35.
Okay, 35,000. So it's 35 times 25. So 35,000 times 25.
75.
Okay, cool. So you just increase your assets regardless of what you made. Is that correct? Okay, cool. Awesome. You guys all got that? Did everyone fill out what they want to earn annually in the future? Like if I didn't do anything else and you like say, okay, I at least have a goal of what to work towards, you are way farther than me my first 10 or 15 years of investing. No, not 15. I don't want to, yeah. I didn't figure this out until 2016. So just 5 years ago. And then I catapulted and I made my decisions way differently based on that. You guys all have that? Yes or yes?
That's
Yes.
That's this box, right?
Yep, you got it. That's when you want to make it annually. Then you divide that by 12 and that's what you make monthly. But we're just going to focus on annual first. Okay. So the purpose of the class is how to build a real estate buy and holds versus fix and flip as real estate professionals. Okay, how to start. This is my opinion. I like investing locally. Cam, do me a favor. There's a sign-in sheet. I'd like everyone to fill out their name and information. So I'm gonna send you guys stuff after this event. I think online we'll already have their information. Does that sound right? So please just have them in, just use that sheet. Please, everyone sign your information. So I'm gonna send this after. I'm gonna send you guys values before the crash and where they are now. Okay. So it's not in the presentation. I like local. I got a lot of yahoos going through all throughout the United States right now. And I'm not talking to everyone in here. I'm talking like 3 people. They're in flat markets, but they have great cash returns. But from 15 years ago, the market is still flat and they are not making as much money as they think. So I personally like investing locally. Now, does that mean you shouldn't invest nationally? No, but you just want to go through the same vetting process if you're going to invest in Utah versus out of state. Does that make sense? What I don't like is I got a property in Florida, I got a property in Texas, I got a property in Georgia, I got a property in Michigan. I think that's way too spread out. I think you should be an expert in one other state, understand like the eviction laws, the tenant laws, what's the appreciation, how's the economy. Just like if you had an out-of-state investor who wanted to buy in Utah, you'd be sharing all the pros of what's good about Utah. You'd kind of want to reverse engineer that. You guys agree with that? Okay, so I like local. I also like learning from local people. Now, so starter. Here's most of the ways you guys are going to start. So raise your hand and virtually, if you've ever done a fix and flip, type in, I've done a fix and flip before virtually. Has anyone done a fix and flip in here? Raise your hand. Ooh, good. Hold on. Raise your hand high. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, cool. 10. That's good. So that's a great point. Yep. Okay, cool. They change all the time. I agree. Okay. So we're going to focus on fix and flips and buy and holds. So I have this weird belief system. Tony Robbins' belief system is who we are. I would say I normally wouldn't talk on a topic unless I've done 100 deals. So I've already owned 100 rentals. I've done about 150 flips. I've done 450 hard money loans. So if you guys need hard money lending, I do that. I'm not going to teach a class how to do that. But I've definitely lent money. I've done over 200 assignments. That means you put a property under contract, assign it to someone else. And those are like and I've helped hundreds of real estate investors locally. Okay. So that gives you an idea of like what we're going to teach with of how you guys can build your portfolio. Okay. So here's 2 examples. Oh man, how do I go back? I got gun shy. Sorry. Oh, okay, cool. I get look at that. Even I can do that. Okay. Okay, this is no BS. You can still buy properties in this price range. I just bought one 4 weeks ago in Magnet. Okay. So here's a traditional investor. Let's say you're going to go buy in Ogden. I personally would go buy in Weber County before I'd go to Idaho or before I'd go in the Midwest, because you have different demographics of Salt Lake. People are willing to commute an hour. There's cultural things, right? There's some pretty positive religious things, regardless if you want, very family oriented. Utah's a very pro-business state. And there's a lot of just freaking smart people who live in Utah compared to other parts of the country. A lot of smart people live here, okay? So if you guys want to take a photo, write this down, you're more than welcome to. Man, that's weird. Okay, so Here's how you normally buy a property. You buy a property for $250,000. The normal investor puts 20% down. Oh, I was like, what the hell? Okay, cool. Yeah, you're good, you're good. Okay, cool. So you're gonna buy a property, you're gonna put 20% down. You're gonna over improve it because you're new, okay? So one of my consulting clients, they put a property under contract for hard money and their budget's 35, they're now up to 61. I'm like, guys, you're way overspending your money, right? So I shaved $9,000 in 20 minutes yesterday. So I'm like, basically I paid for me to do consulting again next year in 20 minutes. Because I only had 20 minutes to talk to him on the phone. I gave him an extra 5 because his husband and wife. Okay, so, but the point though is, if you buy this property, you're gonna be out of pocket $60,000. 20% for the down payment, $10,000 because you're gonna over improve it. With based on rates right now, your ROI, and this is not including vacancies or deferred maintenance. I'm just gonna make simple numbers for you guys. You're gonna make 5.9%. Now, most people are not like, woo, I'm super excited about 5.9%, but here's where it gets really exciting. Does anyone know how to use a financial calculator to take the current value, 5% appreciation in the next 10 years of what that value is? And you guys can do it. Let's spit it out real quick. Okay, so let's say you buy property right now in 2021 for $250,000 in Ogden. And it's gonna go up 5% a year conservatively.
For how many years?
10 years. I normally do 3%, but Utah's just been so strong compared to the national average. Let's do 5% compounding every year for 10 years. What's the future value?
407,223,065.
Okay, say it again. I'm gonna,
407.
do you mind typing it in? Yeah. Okay, so 472.
$407,223.66.
All right, let's just call it 407,000.
Okay.
Okay, is that a good ROI? Yes, because when you sell that sucker, like you bought it for 250, you have like 150,000 in equity. That does not include your principal pay down. So real estate depreciates over 27 and a half years. We don't need to focus on that right now. There's a lot of tax advantages. Plus, you're gonna have a tenant paying down your mortgage. So that mortgage that you finance for 200,000 in 10 years, let's say you don't refinance it every year because you're smart, but let's just for the sake of this example, you don't refinance it, you'll probably owe like 120. So the difference of the 407 minus the 120 is a ton of money. Did you guys read? Yeah, please fill this out because I want to send you guys the forms after. Then you guys can sell or do a 1031 exchange. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Any questions with that basic fundamental? Okay, so that's one way to buy a property. So here's what I just did. I bought this duplex like 2 months ago. Okay, it was not listed. I paid a premium. I paid $700,000. Okay, but here's what's cool. You guys want to write this down? It's not on the slide. I sold a property for $350,000 in Kearns. 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It rented out for $1,500 a month. I'll say it one more time. I sold the property for $350,000 in Kearns. 3-bedroom, 1 bath. It rented for $1,500 a month. The property was built in the 1950s, plus or minus 3 years. It's in Hoffman Heights, if you guys know where that is. Okay, Hoffman Heights is between 47 South and 5400 South, and it's west of 40th to about the railroad tracks. All of them were built in the 50s for government. They were military housing. Okay, so I bought this property built in the 70s. This is built in 1970. It's a duplex on like 18th East and in Murray. Okay, so regardless if you're from Kearns or not, would you guys agree Murray is probably a better area for renters than Kearns? Raise your hand. Okay, I would agree with that. So I not only improved the type of property, I went from a single family residency to a duplex. 2, I bought a newer property from 1950s to 1970s, so you're gonna have less deferred maintenance. And 3, I went from the single from the duplex, right? This is now renting for $2,000 a month each side. So I'm gonna get $4,000 in gross rent, not net, versus the $1,500 a month. So here's what I analyze my properties every year. This is good. So this is not the presentation. You guys want to grab your calculators again real quick? I analyze all my portfolio every November this way.
What'd you pay for this one?
700,000. I totally paid a premium.
You 1031 it?
I did great. I did a 1031 exchange. Yep.
That's awesome.
Nice job, man.
Thanks. So I take $4,000 a month times 12. What do you guys come up with? You guys might want to write this down on a piece of paper.
48.
48,000 divided by 700,000. I call it an ROA, just return on asset. I'm just doing a simple calculation. What's that percentage?
Almost 7.
6.8? Cool, 6.8. Now let's analyze what I sold. $1,500 a month times 12 is how much? 18,000, correct. 18,000 divided by 350,000. Tell me that number, please. The gentleman that's 18, what's your name? You have a phone?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, you're good. I just really like your hair, man. Okay, so what's the number? So $18,000 a month divided by 350,000 is what?
It's just over 5%.
5 point what?
1.
Cool. So how much did I move the needle on my return? Minimal, right? But that's a minimal amount. But that's way better. I bought a way better property than what I had before. Do you guys agree with that?
And your internal rate of returns will be way better.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. Wait, were you here last time?
I was here, like.
Were you the kid sitting over there?
Yeah.
Okay, I remember you.
When you're reading.
Yeah, I remember now. All right, I'm like, this
I don't
guy's
know
like,
why you picked on me.
because you participate. Just like right now, I remember you now. It's good. Now it's getting a shot. You were here with your dad, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Now
Okay.
his mom's on Zoom.
Your mom's on Zoom. What's your mom's name?
Jamie.
What up, Jamie? Your son's smart. So here's the cool thing on this example. When I first started, I would have totally pimped out the kitchen. Here's what pimping out the kitchen means to me. I would have replaced the cabinets. I didn't. I repainted them. You guys want to write that down? I didn't replace them. I repainted them. Okay. I actually did not see these photos until this morning because my team, I always like to give like as fresh information as possible. So it's not like, oh, I've heard this so many times. I literally saw this. I was like, dude, what the fuck? You guys put new countertops on? They're like, they're countertops you put on top of them. I'm like, that is awesome. Great job, guys. Okay. So these, I didn't know you could do, I knew you could do it, but I've never done it before. They bought some product that they put this on top of the existing countertops. I'm like, freaking sick. Great job. Now, I'm not trying to force appreciation to get a higher ARV. I just want to make it better than what it was. Does that make sense with you guys? That's called laminate. That's vinyl flooring. So I put new vinyl flooring in. Did I pimp out the house? No, I literally just painted it and put new updated flooring. We were so cheap, we kept the old freaking dishwasher in there. I was like, what the hell? Why is that piece of shit in there still? And they're like, because it runs. I'm like, okay, keep it in there. All right, okay. But to me, I was like, that's just ugly. But I don't want to spend $400, okay? And that's a good property management team helping out. So tip number 3, I think I've given 3 thus far. Tip number 3. To get the returns you're looking for, you'll probably need to let someone professionally manage your properties. Unless your wife's like super control freak and has blonde hair and has been investing 30 years, it's only been a realtor for 7 years and is an amazing speaker, then you can do what you want. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Got it, good. All right. Next example. Here's how I would buy this property I'm going to show you shortly. I would buy it with hard money, OPM, other people's money. So the property I'm going to show you, I literally bought it for $175,000 in Magna. And it's a doozy, okay? I'm going to do $20,000 in rehab. This one needs a little more, but I'm going to call it a lipstick remodel. Let's give this as an example in Ogden. I'll be out of pocket $30,000 because I'm going to put some money down for hard money possibly. I'm going to be out of pocket for the repairs. I'm then going to refinance it at 75 or 80% loan to value, depending on what the appraisal is. And then my cash on cash return is 17.48%, not including vacancies or property management, unless you're Senorita Marchant and she manages it herself, hypothetically. You guys take a photo of this? On Bigger Pockets, this is also called the Burr method. I should have gotten on Bigger Pockets before they got really big because I was doing this in 2005, before Bigger Pockets was around. They could call it the MAT method. Ooh, I like that one. The money MAT method, triple M. Ooh, I like that one. Okay, so it's totally doable. I have 9 clients right now that we're doing mortgages for that they've bought properties like this. I've helped them get their hard money. Most of them are coaching or consulting students because there's deals all the time that people don't even know it's a deal because they just don't know if they don't know. But these are great ways for you guys to buy properties. Okay.
So Matt, you say you're using hard money first before you put a permanent loan on?
Yeah, yes. On the duplex, I just did a regular loan because I did a 1031 exchange. Yeah. I have bought multifamily in the last couple of years, getting hard money loans because they needed tons of work. And I did 1031s and I refinanced them after too. Good question, Dave. Okay, cool. So I call it a success formula. So if you're going to do a flip now, same house as I showed you, your sales price or your ARV after repair value is $250,000. I'm going to take 10% off the top, 3% for buyer's agent, 3% for seller's agent, 3% for buyer's closing costs. That's probably not as prevalent in today's market still, and 1% for seller's closing costs. It's still 1% in Utah. Okay. Other parts of the country is a lot more. Tangible tax, recording tax, transfer taxes, things like that. Florida is super expensive to buy and sell real estate, just on the title fees. Okay. So let's say it's $10,000 in a hard money loan. I rehab it for $30,000. I'd have to buy that sucker for $160. I'd make a profit of $250. Here's my personal opinion. If you guys want to write this down, tip number 5. I wouldn't do a flip unless I'm going to net at least 10% of the sales price. That's just my own opinion. I would not do a flip unless I'm going to net at least 10% of the sales price. I think the market is definitely softened. How about it is? It's softened in the last 90 days compared to 180 days ago. I have properties now sitting that I've done 3 price reductions. And when I list my flips, I list them really competitively. And I'm missing the market versus if they were 180 days ago, I know they'd already be sold. I just took too long to remodel them, so that's on me. But why I'm sharing this with you is there's still properties that are moving. Now, if you're doing a buy and hold, this is not as important. But if you're doing a fix and flip, here's what happened during the downside of the 2007 and 2008. So in 2007, I bought 2 fix and flip properties. So I'd already had 10 rentals in my name. I couldn't get any more mortgages. Not that I was a bad borrower. I literally just Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, non-alt lending. You just couldn't get more than 10 mortgages, okay? So I'm like, okay, cool. I've already remodeled about 13 to 15 houses. I'm gonna learn to start flipping houses. So I knew how to do the rehab, but I didn't know how to fix them to make them look really good, okay? So I bought 2 rentals. They ironically turned into long-term rentals because the market started going, I bought 2 flips that turned into long-term rentals because the market started going down. And that sucks. How you remodel a rental is different than how you remodel a flip. You guys want to write that down? How you remodel a rental is differently than how you remodel a flip. Couple of examples. Flooring. I'm going to put more economical, durable flooring in a rental. I'm going to put sexy, shiny stuff in a flip because I want to maximize profit. Toilets. I'm putting nicer toilets that flush better in a rental than a flip. Had lots of toilet challenges, okay? Just different stuff. Hardware like faucets, sinks. I'm putting more durable faucets in rentals that are easier for plumbers or a handyman to fix versus what I'm going to do in a flip. Painting. I paint all my rentals the same color. So when we go in between tenants, they just have to touch up paint and they go on their merry way versus we painted this one 2018 color. It's not around, that paint's gone, or the sheen, or we painted this one 2005 color, which I have. All my rentals are all the same color now. They used to be called Desert Fawn. They're now some new 2019 color. So you can tell if I own the property older than 2018, it's Desert Fawn, and everything else is a more modern gray. I don't know what it's called because I don't care, but it looks better than Desert Fawn. And my house is actually Desert Fawn, so I'm repainting my house in the winter. Okay. How to maximize flips. So here's an upside of flips, right? You guys can take a photo versus me reading it all. There's a lot of upsides. There's a lot of downsides, just like being a real estate professional. There's always upsides and downsides. So what you need to do is you need to cover your downside. Has anyone ever heard of Keith Cunningham before? Okay. Road Less Stupid. This book.
Oh.
He wrote, Keith Cunningham is Rich Dad from Rich Dad Poor Dad. So him and Kiyosaki, has anyone ever read Robert Kiyosaki? Okay, cool. So he wrote a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad. Who's read Rich Dad Poor Dad? Okay, cool. A lot of you. If you haven't, I'd write that book down. You haven't read it? Want to write it down? Okay, cool, good. Just making sure I know you're.
I don't have paper, so I'm just.
Well, you don't have paper?
I'm just writing.
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time because you're a millennial, whatever you're younger than that. Okay, good. So Rich Dad Poor Dad's an awesome book to read. I give three book suggestions when people start doing consulting with me. The first one is Rich Dad Poor Dad in this order. The second one is The Millionaire Next Door. The third one is Think and Grow Rich. And I like reading them or listening to them in that order because you got to think like, oh my gosh, I can do more than have a normal job, which there's nothing wrong with having a normal job. And then cool, now I'm earning money. I got to be conservative with my money. And then as I'm conservative, you're like, holy cow, I got to think and grow rich, right? Like there's a reason why I like that syntax of that types of books. Okay, Koa, if you wanted to have your daughters read those books, I'd read them in that order. Then that really vet if they're interested in investing or not. Yes.
What was the last book?
Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Has anyone ever read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Okay, cool. It's an awesome book. Okay. So does anyone like baseball? I'm a baseball fan. I love small ball base hits, right? The World Series where they hit amazing home runs are sick, right? We're like, there's a home run, but just that dinker over the second baseman, right? That tag fly ball that they throw them out, but they miss. Like base hits is real estate. I just love base hits. And that's what I think real estate investing is better for. So you guys can tell my team loves my caricatures. They've all made them up, not me. But here's my recommendation. You've got to know your freaking numbers. Like if you could take okay, the top thing we learned from Matt today was here's where we are financially, and we actually have a plan where we want to go in the future, right? The second thing is knowing your numbers. So when you're reevaluating your portfolio or you're buying your first deal, you got to freaking know your numbers. Where you're just going to overspend, and then you're going to foreclose and I'm going to buy your house. Okay. So here's the first two questions anytime you're analyzing the deal. Question first, what is the property worth? Okay, so my military man over here would say, hey, dude, I got this property in Kearns. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. It's really cute. It's got a fenced-in yard. I don't care about that. What is the property worth and what can I get it for? Okay, I got a property. The after repair value is $420,000 to $450,000. I could get it to you for about $360,000. Cool. Tell me more. If you're like, I got a 4-bedroom, 2-bath that's for $450,000 and it's worth $450,000. Cool. That probably doesn't fit for me as a single family. Does that make sense? So what is it worth and what can I get it for? So when you're presenting deals to other investors, they're going to want to know these numbers too. Yes.
I know like on bigger pockets, they say 70% minus the repairs is like your purchase price, but in Utah, I found that super hard.
Yeah, but they're talking to the masses, right? Bigger
Yeah.
pockets is talking to, here's what everyone's doing nationally.
What's your criteria on your multiplier? Like as far as like
For fix and flip or buy and hold?
for a fix and flip,
The numbers I just showed you, 10% of the sales price
10% of sales price.
is what I want to net. So I'll reverse engineer it. So I take 10% off the top.
Okay.
And then I'll take my hard costs minus my repairs and my profit, and that's what I want to buy the house for.
Okay, so 10% is your okay, cool, awesome.
Yep. So if you think of bigger pockets, they're talking to everyone in the world.
Yeah.
So they're gonna give some generalizations, which is fantastic.
Mhm.
But yeah, just different markets. Yes, sir.
May I add to that?
Yeah.
So in my personal business, I teach my acquisition.
What's your name, please?
Daniel Maurer.
What's up, Daniel Maurer?
In my
I talked to you last year, huh?
Yeah, we did.
I remember who you are.
I teach my acquisitions. We're not doing percentages. You get that as low as possible.
Sure. And you've been investing less than a year, right?
Yeah.
And you got your license and worked with Dane Bullwinkle.
I don't have my license.
You don't have your license? Do you work with Dane Bullwinkle?
No, I have my own company.
You have your own company? Good. You know Dane Bullwinkle?
Yeah, I love data.
Good. He used to be a coaching client. Here's a cool thing. I've taught classes since 2011, in addition to being on the board of a real estate investment association called SLRIA. And I taught classes twice a month for free because I was sick of going over the same things over and over and over. So what I'm teaching you guys right now is really the first class in a condensed version. because I want to give as much information as possible. I also have it online. You guys can watch it anytime you want, over and over and over again. But I think what's really good is I want to show you like real deals in 2021 because there's deals. Here's the Magna property. This is what it looks like. It's totally a POS. Okay, but it needs a lot of love. Super sad. I bought it from a guy. So I did a refinance for a lady. The lady and her husband. The lady told me about her dad. Her dad is retired. He gets $800 a month fixed income, Social Security. He has one rental property that he rents to his daughter that's tied up in it's not a clear title. His previous partner died in the 80s, has no estate planning. The partner that died in the 80s, his youngest child, all of his kids are dead also. The grandkids want to contest that property 2 generations later. So they are stuck because the guy only makes $800 a month and his daughter pays him $800 a month in Magna. Okay, that's property 1. Property 2, he owned a property free and clear. This property that he rented to his grandson, the son of the daughter who rents for $800 a month. He didn't pay grandpa rent during COVID. This is what the property looks like. We bought the property not being able to go into it because we had no idea what it looked like. I assumed the worst. My assumption is, you okay?
No,
All right.
but Scott makes me okay.
All right, good job. Okay.
Dude, 1 arm, man. Holy strong.
Yoni, what's your last name?
Manoa.
Maloa? Manoa? Cool.
Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Magna, piece of
Magna, POS. Okay, cool. So I'm probably gonna buy the other property, but we just barely bought this one. We had to evict the tenant. He barely moved out and we're trashing it out. So is real estate a sexy sport? Yes and no, you know what I mean? But we'll make a good profit, okay? So when you buy properties that you don't know what they look like, here's what I want to share this as an example. I don't know, this is literally how the MLS pulled up, because we pulled it up today. But we're always gonna pull the tax data to validate that's the most accurate information that we have, okay? And you guys, everyone fill out that form, so I'm gonna send you guys 3 pieces of paper after that are not in here. Here's the ARV, okay, super important. So those of you guys who are watching virtually, on the left, when I do my search, I do own a real estate brokerage. We focus on real estate investors, transactions only. Like if someone's like, hey, I want to sell my house for $750, can you list it? We say, we're happy to refer you to someone else. Like we're not good. Let me go back. We don't want to focus on that skill regardless of the price point. We just like doing investors, their numbers, there's no emotion, and like either it makes sense or it doesn't, because that's how I like to invest. So I like doing a search, list price on the left. If you guys want to write this down as a realtor, this is awesome. I learned this from a bunch of appraisers. Sold price on the right. I like doing the list price first as lowest to the most expensive sales price, because when we have a market going down, we will see the list price is higher than what the sales price is. Does that make sense? When the market's going up, we'll see the sales price is more than what the list price is. So I trained my brain during the downturn of the market from 2007 to 2011, how to analyze properties all the time that way. So if you guys can see, there's 4 comps, 285, 350, 367, 385. Let's assume the top 3 ones are all in great condition. What do you guys think the after repair value is based on that? So all of you guys virtually, I still got 18 people, which is awesome. I'm gonna call them out real quick. Alex, Melanie, Jamie, Scott, Karma, T Strong, turn your freaking cameras on. Let's see, what else we got? We got Ashley, we got Mary, Kaylee, Sterling, Nathan, Jim, turn your phone cameras on. Jesse, good to see you. Sean, I love your mask. Ashley Black, your screen is black. I think it has to do with your last name. All right, good. Type in the Zoom chat bar. What do you guys think the ARV is? Now, if you're driving, I'm okay with that. Good job, Sterling. But I just called out everyone. Type in the Zoom chat bar. What's the ARV? Okay, what do you guys think the ARV is real quick? Share that numbers.
340.
350, 340,
340.
340, 350. Look, I got 385. I got 367. I got 350 and 285. Can you minimize that real quick, please? Let's check out. Now I'm going to compare. I'm always going to get a map So I know what, like, where's my criteria at? Now, I'm gonna look at I'm gonna look at actives. Look, there's not a lot, this is literally today. No, this was last week. There is not a lot of inventory. This sucker going for 500,000, that's crazy. It's probably in a zone, in an area, who knows why. So if I know I got 299, 335, and I got one under contract and one active, I'll probably go in the middle of 350 plus or minus. Right? I want to model, you guys want to write this down? Success leads clues. You want to model what the other houses look like to push the value. You want to model, you okay? You okay? Okay. You want to model where the other people are going. Cool. We got 9 minutes. You guys ready? Really good. Okay, this is the difference of an amateur investor and a freaking smart one that's gone to this class. Okay. GLA. GLA is gross living area. I don't care about the total price per square foot upstairs and in the basement. That's freaking ludicrous. The basement is normally worth a third of what upstairs is. Okay. I'm going to go off what the total square footage is above grade, gross living area above square footage. So both these houses are 2,000 square feet. Let's say they're in Cottonwood Heights. They're literally across the street from each other. They're built the same year. The property on the left is 1,400 square feet above grade, 600 square feet in the basement. You can see there's a two-car garage, and there's a fireplace. The house on the right, don't worry about the color of the siding for this exercise, okay? The house on the right is 1,000 square feet above grade, 1,000 square feet in the basement. It also has a fireplace and a two-car attached garage. Let's say it has the same type of finish work inside. Which one do you guys think is worth more, the property on the left or the property on the right? If you think property on the left, raise your hand. I'm seeing if your friend is her hand up. Good, there we go. Can see the girl's hat. Good. Property on the right. Okay, good. Excellent. You guys Zoom. Am I not doing a good enough job? No one is participating. T Strong, Karma, Alex, Melanie, Jamie. Say that again.
It says they're trying to talk, the microphone must be on.
Just type in the Zoom chat bar. Scott Brady, want to see your face. Jamie, A. Shipley, Jim. What's up, Kaylee? What's up, Mary? What's up, Nathan Jones? Sterling, that guy's got a jawline. Holy cow, girls would be lucky. All right, what's up for everyone else? So next, here's how do I increase my value? How do I push that ARV, okay? A lot of new people are over improving. It is crazy. They're watching, I don't even know if HGTV, I don't even know. Does HGTV still have flip houses?
Yeah.
Your battery's running low. Do you want to plug it in? Please. Cool. I haven't watched HGTV in about 8 years. So I just rather just learn from other people. So one, thank you. Dude, I love that you're like, don't wear shoes. It's good. You like pedicures?
No, I had one once. I did no need to go.
Do you like
back.
pedicures?
I love.
Dude, what if we go on a pedicure? My treat for like something fun.
How can I say no to that?
Yeah, okay, good. See? It's called a gate. Two guys on a gate. A gate. Okay? I love going on gates. A gate, yeah, I go on a lot of gates with buddies. All right, cool. So paint strategically. So number one, paint strategically. Painting goes a long ways. Cabinets, walls. Number two, long-term kitchen planning. These two-tone kitchens that are trendy for 1 or 2 years, then 5 years later, they don't look good. I just think you go with like what's timeless. White has been really good for a long time. So that's what we use. And then modern bathroom trends. Now, it doesn't mean we're doing like San Francisco loft style stuff. Just modern basic hits makes a long way with when you're doing a buy and hold or a fix and flip. Ideally, you guys want to work with someone that has builder experience. So this is my own personal opinion. I'm not saying this arrogantly. I'm saying this honestly. I'm not taking any classes from anyone who's only been doing that thing for 5 years. That's me personally. Now, I've got a lot of friends that are more successful than me in the thing they're doing. And I'll go to lunch with them and talk to them. Not actually, probably not. We don't talk about that stuff. they want to talk about like, hey, how can I be happier in my life? Since that's what we really talk about. So I'm like, go to a Tony Robbins event. Like, no, it doesn't work. I'm like, okay. So just study or like read a book or like, do something else. I like to learn with people who've already been doing it for at least one cycle. So if I'm going to learn how to do apartments, I'm going to learn from someone who did it pre-2008 personally, because they knew what it was like when it got super tight. There's a lot of up and comers who've only been doing it for 7 years. They only know with what the market's been doing, which is just going up. Okay. So I think who you guys learn from is super important. Couple last examples. This is a good example of just painting the outside of the house. This is called earth smoke. We try to keep the tones as neutral as possible because we want to sell to the masses, if that makes sense. This is a good example of what our flips or rentals looked like 12 years ago. This was Naughty Alder, Home Depot, or Lowe's stock cabinets. I used to remember what that countertop is. I don't remember it now, but that doesn't look good in 2021, at least Utah. It does in other parts of the country. Other parts of the country, my friends are installing these types of cabinets still, just not in Utah. So it's important to add square footage without adding on. So here's what I want to do to share. I like your guys' energy really good. You guys had fun? Say yes?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay, cool. So here's something I didn't offer last time. I will do an evaluation with you if you fill out a form. Cam, I think I brought out 20. And it's going to be on my schedule to fit with you guys because I got a lot of stuff I've got going on. Not to say that it's not important. Yep, pass those out. Raise your hand if you guys would want to do a reevaluation. Evaluate. Okay, cool. So Cam's going to pass that out. I want you guys to answer the questions. And if it's okay for 4 minutes, I'll just do Q&A with everyone. Is that okay? For all of you guys that are virtual, you guys can type this in. I teach one free class every single month in my office at Intercap. It's free. And I do it for free because I want people to learn more. The next one I'm talking about is how to negotiate your deal. Lots of real estate investors take December off, which I think is crazy. I can make a lot of money in December, and I'm talking about all negotiating. And I'm going to be focusing on negotiating with sellers. Because you can buy properties from sellers because they need money for Christmas and they need money for the end of the year for taxes. So if you guys type in the Zoom chat bar, you know how to cut and paste from that possibly?
I can.
You can, cool. So that's in a couple weeks. And I just wanted to open up for a couple. And then the last thing I was going to share, I teach 3 classes a year that are all day. The next one I'm teaching is called Blueprint. I spend about 40 hours between November and December to plan my whole year. That's both personally and professionally. So what I do, I've taught this for 5 years, is if you've already done planning, which is awesome, I know I'm going to go deeper with you. We focus on 10 goals personally, 10 goals professionally. It's an 8-hour planning session. I'm leading it. You get in breakout sessions. You get challenged by other people to help prioritize what you do. If you think about it, if you had 3 main goals each year personally and 3 main goals professionally, and then if you focused on them quarterly each time, and then you focused on them monthly, and then you focus on them weekly, and then daily, you'll have a lot more purposeful life. Who would be interested in learning how to plan their life like that to have more fulfillment? Raise your hand. Awesome. So here's what we can do. I just want to ask, is it possible from a lending perspective to have an Airbnb? Oh, wait, I want to go back to her question.
I have it open up here too.
Is it possible from a lending perspective to have an Airbnb income count as rental income to qualify when refinancing an apartment loan into conventional? No. Great question. The reason why you can't use the Airbnb income is you don't have an established track record. You have to use what market rent is on long-term rentals. There's no way to determine what your proposed short-term rental income is going to be because there's no history of it. Awesome. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Top takeaways for 3 minutes. I'm going to have you guys finish this. So here's what we just recapped. You guys all know where you are financially now. You all know where you want to go in the future. Is that fair? We've also established, I think I've given out at least 6 nuggets. I kind of categorized them. So what I want you guys to do is write out your action plan or some action items, please. Use the last one if you'd like, but one of your action items could be attend Matt's free class in December. Another action item could be watch these classes online from MJA Consulting. Another action item could be sign up for Blueprint with Matt for 8 hours on a Saturday. Another action item could be is meet with the merchants to look at the options to join their EXP team. How's that?
That was good.
All right, good. Okay, another action item could be sign up for UPW virtually in next year. Another, like, you guys get what I'm saying. I just want you to come right with like 3 action items that you're actually going to do. And ideally, I'd like you guys to just do it or put it the credit card or pay for it by a week from today. Because a lot of people get excited. And last time I taught this, I had like 12 or 13 people DM me, which is great. But that's just DMing me. That isn't really showing me they're like, hey, we want to talk to you more. Like, I could just DM people all day long, just like, oh, like I want people who actually do stuff. So stats are 20% of you guys. So there's 19 plus 20 of you, that's 35, maybe 7 of you guys will do something. But I know you
What's
guys
the
are
link for that?
overachievers with EXP. Yeah, the link is on my website, MJ Real Consulting. MJA Real Consulting. Awesome. Any other questions for you guys? Okay, go ahead.
How do you build your list of contractors?
Great question. Can I give you 3 ways? Not on the freeways? Every time I'm driving somewhere, if I see an old beat up vehicle in a specific trade, I'll write it or take a photo and I'll call them. I still do that. So when I'm driving and I know I need HVAC, if I see an older beat up truck, I'll call that older beat up truck and I'll ask them how much you charge for a service call, how far out are you currently for work? If you had to change out a furnace that's not in a crawl space or an attic and it's not an emergency, how much do you normally charge? Like just certain questions like that. That's one. Number 2, I still like using KSL. Number 3, actually, I love using Facebook. Like it just posts publicly. Like I'm looking for this type of contractor. Who do you guys know? And normally I'll get like 7 or 8 different responses. Great question. And I like to have 3 trades, 3 people per each trade. Because sometimes people come and go or leave. Great question. Go ahead.
I don't know what your personality is, but you seem like high energy. So for me, it's like, I've done a lot of this, but I don't document it. What's like been the best way for you? Or I guess, what do you do? Obviously you have a good PowerPoint, you have that. What would be some suggestions on documentation?
Documenting what part?
Just like fix and flips, like what you've learned,
Just your journey.
systems, journeys. Yeah. Like,
Why do
Do
you
you
want to
sit down-
document it?
cause I have a team that I want to push it out to. And
Okay.
cause I've done a lot of this stuff, but I want to be able to like say, hey, here's the book, here's the manual.
So
Do you just have that system, like you sit down and document it, or do you put it in a voice recording and send it to your assistant, or what's like a good
you're,
way?
I'm hearing a bunch of questions in your question, so I'm going to try to clarify which one I think is.
Okay.
So I hear, what's the best way to train a team? Is one question I'm hearing. The second question I'm hearing is, what's the best way to scale? And the other question that I'm hearing is, how do I document my progress? That's what I'm hearing from what you're
It's the
saying.
third, it's the third one.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See how I clarified? So how do I document my progress? Why do you want to document your progress?
Just because like. It's a good question, because like, let's say I tell Sienna like, hey, I did 3 flips this year, one of them made over 250 grand off. He asked like, how'd I do it? And I'm like, well, I want to just be able to like push it to him.
What do you mean push it to them?
To like push it like something written down, a Google Drive, YouTube,
Blueprint.
a blueprint saying like, here you go, do it. You know, like,
Well, would we want to find out why he wants to know that?
so he can replicate it.
Okay, that's different. Fair? So if we have, so it's good to model people who are more successful, right?
Uh-huh.
So I said, I like to model people who've done it at least a decade longer than me, or have done it through the market cycle. So there's a lot of newer investors who are killing it that have been 5 years or less, that charge $25,000 to $50,000 coaching programs. But I'm not saying they're not good. I have a couple $50,000 coaching programs that I pay for annually, that I get coached by people that are multi-millionaires. One's a decamillionaire. Sorry, one's a 100-millionaire. So I'm thinking like, they're thinking of way higher stuff that I'm not thinking of. You guys in here, you guys could honestly probably all learn from me and learn enough for 3 to 5 years and then outgrow with whatever I'm learning, and then you can learn from someone else. So, but to answer your question, if you want to document it, there's documenting it to replicate it versus documenting it to show other people. Showing them is to like just say, hey, check out how good I am. When I first started, I was probably like, check out how good I am. But I don't care about that any longer. It's more like, let me show you guys the millions and millions of dollars I've lost by not knowing how to do things, so you guys don't make the same mistakes.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? So I think if you write out, here's a great question, I'll end with this, so that's okay. I'd write out I'd write out all the things that went well on the project. So write the sequence here. If you guys want to get a piece of paper, write a T-bar and put what went well. And then to the right of it, so I do line a piece of paper, put a T-bar on the left, what went well, what I would change. And the more detailed you document every deal that way, you'll then create a system so you don't keep making the same freaking mistakes. Like I got a friend who's been divorced 5 times. There's obviously something going on 5 divorces, right? But if I'm writing out what went well and what did I learn, then I want to reduce the learning things. So then I'm writing out systems so then I have less losses. Is that helpful? And then if you want to do it audible, or you want to do, I like to learn more, I like video for me to learn, but the best is I love live groups. So like I pay a lot of money to go to groups or masterminds versus me sitting and watching videos. I don't learn really well that way. So I'd rather like go to a Tony Robbins event, like Date with Destiny. It's like $6,000 for 6 days.
Yeah.
I can watch it virtually. I have the opportunity to watch it virtually, or I can fly to West Palm Beach and be with like 500 people and be there and have that experience. But it's going to cost me like $3,000 travel, hotel, etc. I'll probably travel and go there because I'll get a lot more out of it. But if it wasn't that option, I would stay and watch it at my house and for those 6 days, because I did that last year.
Okay, cool.
Is that helpful?
Yeah.
You guys good? Everyone fill out their information. So here's our takeaways. If you fill out your information, if you want me to do an evaluation, we'll schedule that in the next 5 days. If I want to knock them out before Thanksgiving or it's going to die. We're going to send you guys information on what we need to follow up with. And then I want to thank the marchants. I love, guys are like, we're all, oh, I'm not wearing black shorts. I had black long sleeve pants earlier. So I just appreciate it. If I'd be totally down to go learn from a bunch of women tomorrow, but I got a meeting tomorrow night. That sounds really good. I'll invite people to it. Is that okay?
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool.
We're
You guys
gonna
good?
report it too.
You guys have lunch, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Is that good, guys? Did everybody learn something? I did. Took some notes.
I do.
Okay, we're gonna go right into introducing our sponsor that brought lunch. So sit tight for a second. Hopefully stay on Zoom. We want to introduce you to one of our amazing title people. Linda, you can introduce her.
Yes, so Mindy is actually here with a monument title. And we're really excited to have her here. She stole me away from the title person that we used for 20 years. I have not had a single issue with her. She gets things done quickly. I don't want to tell you that I text her late at night and she answers, but she does. And she helps us with much more than title. So if you guys are looking for someone, if you're just starting out your real estate career, your title person is super, super important, especially someone that you know has your back, because things can go wrong. And as title people can be slow, and she's not that way. She's, I believe we're a lot alike. She and I in so many different ways. And I just want to tell you how much I love her and that she is great for our business and our team. And if you have the opportunity to switch title or you're under contract with the deal, reach out to Mindy, and she is actually paying for this lunch out of her own pocket. And so I really appreciate that as well.
Thank you for having me. It's always great to be here. Thanks, guys. So, like Lynn said, I'm Mindy. I'm with Monument Title. I have been in title and escrow for 23 years. I love it. Nobody grows up and ever says, I want to be an escrow. But I did. So here I am. Blackburn, you know.
Whoa,
You know
Mindy.
my mom. We know.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. She's off. She's actually like her.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, that is correct. We've had a very long, engaging conversations.
Yes. And Matt knows my mom.
Yes.
So, yeah. I know you guys want lunch and we want to keep it hot, so I'll be short and sweet. I just wanted to touch on probate. We have seen that quite a bit lately with COVID, which sounds weird, but if you guys have sellers on title, if it's a husband and wife and they are just on title with no vesting, it doesn't say as joint tenants, it doesn't say husband and wife. If both of them are passed away, you have to go to probate. You absolutely have to go. It doesn't matter if they have a will, doesn't matter if they have a trust, if that property is just vested in like Fred Flintstone and Wilma Flintstone, you have to go to probate. If you have one party on title, it's an individual, they pass away, same thing, has to go to probate. If you guys have any questions about probate, if you're working with me, call me. I will help you with whatever you need. If you're working with another title company, call your escrow officer right away and let them know that someone has passed away.
So like I've titled my personal residence to a trust.
Okay.
And then obviously if I die, my wife is in charge of the trust.
Okay.
If she dies, my daughter's in charge of it.
Is your
What?
daughter a minor?
Yeah, well, actually, so I should say my two brothers are in charge of, anyway.
And she's the beneficiary.
Yeah,
You don't
so,
have to go to probate. You're fine. If it's
Okay.
it's in the name of a trust or an LLC, you have like a fail-safe, right? You pass away, your wife is the successor. Your wife passes away, your brothers are the successor, your daughter's the beneficiary. You're 100% okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you're okay if it's in a trust. Same thing with an LLC. There's usually like a fail-safe built in. So if the trustee passes away, the successor signs, or with an LLC, there's usually several members that will sign, or an assignee who can take charge of the LLC.
and then I was just wondering how it works with an LLC, because like I have a couple of different LLCs, like maybe I'll ask you this after.
Yes.
I don't know.
Let
Yeah,
her become your title person and she'll answer all your questions.
yeah,
Yes, I
I'll
will.
ask you after.
Okay, yeah.
It's too much.
Does anybody have any questions about probate?
Oh, not probably.
Okay, just in
I have a
general.
question about, vehicle offices.
Yes, so I'm based out of our Riverton office, 126th and Bangor. We have a Murray office, so 9th East and Murray Holiday Road. Those are our two offices. We're a small title company and I really like to refer to it like a boutique. But that's why you get better service is because we're so small. Every file that I work on, I touch. And when you're with a bigger title company, sometimes they've got more hands in the pot. Where with us, less hands, less people, and I know what's going on with every file start to finish. We also work in Nevada, if you guys do Nevada.
Who's your probate attorney that you like referring to?
Chris Jessup, he's amazing, super fast, he can get probate in and out, usually less than 10 days, and his fees are wonderful.
You guys, she saved my butt on one. I mean, it was amazing and it was so slick and it was everything that she said. It was one that I actually happened to have with a different title company because it was a client from a long time ago. And she pulled it and she whipped it out for us and it was a breeze and it was scary. It really was.
A little scary,
Yeah.
yes.
Who do you recommend to like get all that stuff set up so it doesn't happen, like the trust and the wills
Right.
and all that?
So if you guys want a referral for an attorney that can set up like a will and a trust and things like that, I absolutely can get you one. If you are savvy enough and you want to do it yourself, there's a website called Nolo. And you can do it yourself and it's less than $100. But again, you need to be familiar with what you want it to say and the terms of a trust or a will.
Can I add to that?
I've got an opinion on that. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to say that we've had these classes and Jeff has them saved up in our Dropbox where he can give you links.
Perfect.
Because we do, we've done all of that and we've had classes on it, so.
I like you, I don't prepare any of my legal documents because I've been sued 7 times, so I can value lawyers. If you guys want to write this down, Jeff Braylio's 801-560-2180.
He's quick
And he knows what he's doing. He was my college professor 21 years ago.
Say his name again.
Jeff Braylio, BREGLIO, 801-560-2180.
Let me clarify, we've never done it on our own. The classes
Yeah.
are professionals that come in.
No, sure.
But you know what, that is a really good one because you want someone that specializes in, if you're holding real estate,
Yeah.
you want someone that's good at that because there's so many different kind of lawsuits that can happen.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely.
And their
Absolutely.
experience based on what they've done themselves makes a big difference.
He set up 2 of my LLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a big name in real estate, for sure. Do you guys have any other questions?
What's the best way to contact you?
Me?
Wait, hold on. Okay, what is it?
Here's my cell phone, 970-361-5707. 5707.
We've got a stack of cards up here too.
Oh, they're coming around.
Any questions for Mindy?
How's your mom?
She's good. I told her I
Tell
was
her I
gonna
said
see her.
hi.
I will.
You know, like with anything, knowing who to call is super important in this business, right? Matt talked about coaching, he talked about investing, he talked about lending. He does all those things personally and for other people. Good person to call when you're doing those things together too, right? A title person, not all title people are vested in your education, right? They don't always take your phone calls and want to explain things to you and answer your questions and give you the time so that you're a little bit more educated and can be better at your job. Mindy's one of those people. We love her. If you're not working with a title person that you want to bring here and brag on, you might want to maybe use Mindy and try that out because that's why she's here. Okay. So that's just a suggestion.
Being a really, a busy, successful investor or a real estate agent, your team is the most important thing. Your lenders, your title, because you have to depend, for me at least, I trust when Mindy gets it, it's being done. I don't have to micromanage, I don't have to question. And that's what's really important to be able to have that team.
When you build your core team, when you hand it off, we pick it up and we take over and we make sure everybody's taken care of. We make sure the buyer or the seller's happy, we make sure everybody's in the loop. And you know that if there's a problem, that's when you're gonna get a phone call. If there's an issue, but it's gonna be, oh my goodness, we have the PR, this is the problem, this is what we need to do. How do you want to move forward?
And her team is known for speed, communication. You're not gonna be waiting on anything. You don't call her team and say, hey, haven't seen that yet. So speed and communication are huge in any, team member we're using. And
Yes, I agree. And if we don't know the answer, I find the answer, because I don't always know all of it, but at least I have resources and I have a team that I can call. So if it's something that's maybe a one-off or something that's a little odd, I can get an answer for us.
awesome.
Thanks, guys.
Take your contact information, guys. Thank you.